If your Google business profile isn't bringing you new phone calls every day, you're leaving money on the table. I'm about to show you the exact changes that we make to Google business profiles to turn them from invisible to call generating machines. So by the end of the video, you'll know exactly what to fix to start getting more calls from people searching for your services locally on Google. Let's get into it. Section 1 is profile completeness. Our goal here is to make sure that Google understands that we are extremely relevant to the search. Incomplete Google business profiles stay buried while complete ones that are optimized for relevance rank at the top. Google's map pack, or the top 3 business results, shows the most relevant profiles, and these end up getting around 75% of all the local searches as phone calls. So if you're not ranking in that top 3 map pack, you are probably missing out on the easiest phone calls of your life. So there's quite a few important fields or settings on the profile that you need to make sure you have dialed in. The first is the business name. Typically, businesses that have a keyword in their Google business profile name or title tend to rank better. The reason for this is Google instantly sees that that's one of your main services, and they want to rank you for that keyword as well as similar keywords. Be careful here. Don't just add a bunch of keywords into your business name. Chances are you'll get suspended or Google will change your business name back. The reason for this is you need to have a doing business as with that new business name that you want to have. So you can actually set up a new DBA or doing business as with that new business name. And I would say don't put more than 1 or 2 keywords in your title, because ultimately you don't want to populate search results with a bunch of spammy profiles, but having one strategic keyword will make the difference. So if you were Greenscape Landscaping Company and your name was just Greenscape instead of Greenscape Landscaping Services or Greenscape Lawn Care, you're going to be at a disadvantage for those keywords, but by including that, you'll have a direct advantage to rank for those keywords. But don't take it overboard. Don't make it Greenscape, Landscaping, Hardscaping, Lawn Care, etc. The next part is your starting date or your opening date. So if your business has been open since 1972, but your profile has been open for about 5 years, you're gonna wanna set your starting date to the opening of your business date. The reason for this is Google slightly favors businesses that have been aged and that have more history. Next is your primary category and secondary categories. So the reason that this is so crucial is because most businesses have this messed up. The way you can tell which primary category you need is by searching the local competition. So if I look up landscaping New Orleans and look at the top ranking landscaping companies, the goal here is to see which have what category. When I look up landscaping, you see pretty much everyone with landscaper, except there's a couple with landscape designer because they're probably more on the design side of things. We're not seeing anyone, there's a lawn care service because it is a lawn care service. So the goal here is you'd probably want to be landscaper. You don't want to be lawn care service. You don't want to be landscape designer unless that's your primary service. And you can do the same with, plumbing. So if we look up the same, you can see everyone is a plumber. Not a single person has drain clearing service as their main one. These guys have plumbing store or plumbing supply store. Chances are it actually does look like a store. Point is here, everyone has plumber. Nobody has drainage service. Nobody has handyman, but you can add those as your secondary category. So on the profile, you have the chance to put in secondary categories. You can put over 3. And what I would do as a plumber is make my primary plumber, my secondary drainage service, maybe handyman if you handle general other repair work. That way you're signaling to Google, here's our primary category and our primary service, and you'll be able to compete with your competition, your big competitors in the area, but you'll also be able to rank for those keywords relating to drainage service or handyman, or if you do AC repairs as well. Next is your business description. The goal here is to show Google you are trustworthy, you have social proof, you have years of experience in your market. You should also mention your service area and anything else important about your business. Maybe it's family owned. Next section is your services and description section. As you can see, here's a test profile. On the edit services section, you can actually add all of your main services as specific services in here, and you can include keyword rich descriptions, of which this profile doesn't have. So the goal here is we would include a full service description about this mobile car detailing service. And you do the same exact thing for all these services. The point here is to show Google you're relevant and they can understand your service better and determine what you deserve to rank for. So the next section is products. So a lot of service businesses don't understand that you can actually add your services as a product. So you go to the edit product section and then you can build in your service here. So for this company, they're a car detailing company. So we could have mobile car detailing. And then we would select the category, bada bing, bada boom, put in all the info, have a graphic or card or photo of your work and build out the product description. The goal here is we can also rank for these product keywords as well as services, and it's just another relevancy signal. It's just another way to show Google, here's our services. Typically, if you're on the low to medium ticket, it makes sense to do this. If you're a custom home builder, I would probably not add that as a product just because it doesn't really make sense in Google's eyes. The last section is question and answer, or Q&A. So you can see on this Google business profile, they do not have any questions and answers. So you can actually ask yourself a question and then answer that question yourself. The goal here is to answer FAQs while also targeting related service keywords. So people might search, who's the best car detailer in Montreal? Or how much does it cost for mobile car detailing in Montreal? And then by answering these sort of keywords on the profile, you'll have a direct ranking advantage if people search related keywords. So once you have the foundation built on the profile and everything is set up like I showed you, the next step is to do ongoing Google business profile work. So the ongoing work, as you can see, will be a couple things. The first is actually adding updates or adding posts. So if we go to the post section and then click add post, this company hasn't posted before because it is a staging profile, but on here we can actually add the description of a post. I would just recommend using AI and have it mention the main target services, your target service location, all that sort of stuff. For the photo section, I recommend geotagging the photos that you upload. The reason for this is Google sees that geolocational data and it does associate that with your business. It just helps the algorithm understand what service areas you service. So by posting a photo that's geotagged within your service area, you're more likely to rank for that local area. I would also recommend putting a call now button or learn more button, depending on the nature of your business, and then you click post. And I would recommend doing 2 to 3 of those per week. The next section is adding new photos to the profile. So as you can see, this company has quite a few car detailing photos, and this is both from customers leaving them, like you can see some of these are probably from customers, as well as the business itself posting these photos. The goal here is to make it super active and also just keep it up to date with new photos. This isn't only for people to see, this is also for Google's algorithm to see. Oh, they did this sort of service in this location, and it also shows Google you're just active. Google's also more likely to rank your business if you show them that you're active and you're up to date. I'd recommend posting new photos on your profile at least once a month. The last section, and arguably one of the most important ongoing things on your profile, is to respond to all your Google reviews as quickly as possible. So the reason I say this is because Google actually looks at the time it takes for a business to respond to the reviews and uses that to influence how active they think you are and how trustworthy and reputable they are. So by not responding to reviews, you're ultimately shooting yourself in the foot because other businesses are showing Google they're active by responding. You aren't, and it also shows Google you don't really care about what customers have to say about your business. I recommend responding to reviews, both good and bad. So if we look at some of the top plumbing companies in New Orleans, let's just look at Nadles. They are crushing it, and there's quite a few things that you'll see on their profile. First things first, they have keywords in their business name. So chances are this isn't their actual business name, they just have a DBA with air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical. This lets them have a direct ranking advantage over their competitors for these specific keyword searches. The next thing you'll notice is they are posting frequently. So you can see they have some sort of promotion, they have a client review, they have an offer, etc. And they're posting 2 to 3 times per week, like I suggested. They are also responding to reviews within a day, which is super important. As you can see, they got a review from a month ago, it was 5 stars, and they thanked the person and said something nice. This review is a 2-star review. They also respond to bad reviews and they essentially address the concern and they'll reach out or they just apologize. They also just have a ridiculous amount of photos from their jobs, whether it's technicians on the job or before and afters or just kind of marketing stuff. It shows Google that they're active, but it also shows people that they're just doing an insane amount of jobs and they do good work. So overall, Google does reward businesses that have more complete profiles because they provide more relevant information to searchers. Section 2 is reviews. This is our chance to show Google that we are reputable and trustworthy enough to show at the top of search results. So reviews are the single most important trust signal on Google's local algorithm. A common misconception is that the total number of reviews is the most important, and it's actually not true. Google also looks at recency and velocity of reviews, so how often you're getting reviews, as well as how quickly you respond respond to them, and then also the quality of reviews. So if your competitor has 80 reviews and you have 5 reviews, they are so much more likely to be shown in search results, aside from some other factors like relevancy and proximity, which I'm going to get into in a second. That said, if your competitor has 500 reviews but only 3 in the past month, and you have a profile with 250 reviews but 30 in the past month, you're also more likely to be shown at the top of Google. So there's a few main ways that you can get more Google reviews. The first and the most important is to train your team to ask in person and also incentivize your team to get those reviews. You can either offer your techs or sales guys a dollar amount per review, or you can have challenges or competitions every month with your entire team and give them a cash prize for the top 3 highest review earners. My recommendation is to have your employees carry around a QR code that people can scan to directly leave a review. This eliminates the whole process of asking them to search for your business, trying to find the right one, and then actually finding where to click and leave the review. Asking in person has a 100% open rate, whereas with email and SMS, which I'm about to talk about, you have about 20 to 30% open rates average. My point is, ask in person. So aside from asking in person, you should also set up a retargeting campaign or automation, probably through your CRM, that sends off email and SMS messages. I recommend you have your guys tag each customer in the CRM as happy or not happy, or satisfied or not satisfied, or just job completed, job not completed very well. That way you can filter through and only send review requests to the people that you actually crush it for. So here's the frequency I recommend for these follow-ups. First, the day of the job at 5 p.m., I would send an email and SMS. Next is going to be 24 hours later. You just recommend that they leave you a review if you had a good experience. After that, it's pretty much up to you. I know companies that can follow up, for the next 7 or 8 weeks even, multiple times per week. Typically, I lean on the side of not reaching out to customers too much after. I would say max 5 or 6 follow-ups per email and SMS. Just a reminder, you're so much less likely to get people to actually leave reviews from those email and SMS follow-ups because asking in person is always going to be better. So if we look at the top ranking plumbing companies in New Orleans, you can see that the guys at the top have a ridiculous amount of reviews. We have 1,900, we have 3,200. Some of these guys are slipping in, but the point is ultimately the guys with the most reviews are going to rank at the top, you can see. And then also if we compare, Nadles, for example, we can look at their most recent reviews by clicking newest. 4 hours ago, 9 hours ago, they're getting easily 30 a month, I can tell. Probably closer to 40. If we scroll down to someone with less reviews, let's say 100, looks like their last review was 9 months ago, and it was a 1-star by a local guide. Section 3 is proximity, so showing Google that you are accessible to the local search. Proximity is huge. Google wants to show local businesses that are nearby their local searchers. So here's the deal. There's 2 types of Google business profiles. There are physical location profiles where you can see the physical office address listed on the profile physically, and if I look on the map, they literally have a pin on the map. The next type of profile is a service area business profile. So as you can see, they don't have a physical address listed on their profile, nor do they have one on the map. Instead, they have this giant service area. Now, I know what you might be thinking. You've heard people tell you to get a physical address before, and they are 100% right. Here's why. Even though you are a service area business by definition, let's say you're a plumber, and most customers don't just show up to your office to pick up a new pipe or something, Google still favors businesses with physical locations in local search because of what's called proximity. They want to confirm that you are accessible and nearby the searcher, and so I'm much more likely, if I'm searching right on top of here, to be recommended Pipe Wizard Plumbing LLC than I am Primecast Plumbing LLC with this massive service area. Because how is Google supposed to know that you are actually accessible and nearby the search? Chances are, if your competition has physical addresses and you have a service area business, you are at a direct ranking disadvantage in order to show up in search results just because of that physical location. So let's just take Plumber New Orleans, for example. At the top, you can see all these guys have physical addresses listed. Now, if we scroll down a bit more, you'll see companies that actually have service area business profiles. Point is here, they're not ranking at the top. So the way that I like to test if you really need a physical location to show up is to just search for your target keyword on Google. So I'm going to take the example of a smaller town. Let's take Hattiesburg, Mississippi. So if I look up Hattiesburg, Mississippi, plumbing, chances are there's not too many plumbers. And so even in this small town, you can see most of the businesses actually have a physical address listed, which tells me I probably need one in order to rank at the top. That said, if you searched locally in your area and noticed that most competition or some competition have a service area profile, you're actually going to be able to rank with just better SEO, better reviews, and better relevance. So if you have a service area profile, you can actually still send proximity signals to the algorithm. And if you have a physical location, listen up, these are still 100% applicable to your company. First things first, make sure your service area on the profile is set correctly. Physical location profiles, you also have a service area set, and the goal here is to make it reasonable in Google's eyes, so within 2 hours driving distance conservatively. The next thing is to get backlinks from local websites in your market. So that could be Chamber of Commerce, that could be local newsletters, local blogs, other local service businesses that aren't your direct competitor. You should also be creating location service pages for all your main services in each section of your service area. I have made other videos on this, so check those out. Like I mentioned before, you can also geotag your images with location geo-coordinate data. You can just use an online geotagging tool like tool.geoimgr.com. You'll just have to sign in with Google, drop your photos in, add the coordinate data that you want within your local service area, then just update the image and download it and then upload that to your profile or use it as a post photo. Bottom line, if all your local competitors that are ranking at the top have a physical location on their profile, you're fighting an uphill battle. So I would recommend getting a shoebox office for cheap, pay that every month, just so you can set up and claim that physical location on your profile. So if you want to 10x your calls from Google search, you need 3 main things: a completely optimized Google business profile with the right categories, the right service area, and the right service descriptions, a consistent review generation system that focuses on getting 5-star reviews and responding to reviews super quickly, and proximity signals either in the form of a physical location or the other strategies that we talked about in order to signal to Google that you are accessible and nearby the local search. Fix these things and Google will reward you with top 3 rankings or showing up in that map pack where 75% of all the local service calls go to. Now, if you want help with your Google business profile optimization to make sure that you're maximizing every single opportunity to get more phone calls for your business, book a free consultation with me at the first link in the description.